Welcome to Now Academy. My name is Napoleon Wayne, and in this video, we're simply going to talk about basic computer concept. Now, if you haven't seen the video that talks about the introduction of how the series of these videos are going to go down, the link for that is in the details of this video. You can check that out to have a comprehensive understanding of what the content of this videos would be. So, but a quick jump into this one. Basic computer concepts. The content of this particular video is going to be the meaning of computer first, then the various parts of the computer, then the classification of those parts, and also the computer as an input, a processing, and output devices. So basically, the first things first, what is a computer? As usual, a computer is an electronic device that accepts data as input, process it, and give meaningful information as output. But a further dive into the meaning of this definition would tell us that a computer is an electronic device. So let's break that down. If the term electronic is the first prerequisite of anything that should be called a computer should have, what then is the meaning of the term electronic? Before we go into the accepting of data processing and giving output as information, the term electronic is a combination of two words, which is electro and then NIC. The term electro is just the behavioral pattern of electrons, which is definitely derived from the movement of electrons, which forms electricity. I don't want to go further into that science, but we already understand that that comes from electricity. And then this NIC, which is the network interface card. A lot of people may not understand this, but a network interface card is an hardware component that allows the computer to connect to a network or to connect and communicate to every other part of itself or any external device. It can be either wired or wireless adapter. It can be built into a device, or they can be expansion boards that are plugged into the motherboard. And the NICs converts data from a computer into packets that other devices can actually interpret. They can be used for computers, servers, and other devices. But basically, the computer must have an electrical power source and then a network interface card as means of communicating to other parts and other external devices. Moving further, while a computer is referred to as an electronic device, other devices powered by electricity but do not have a network interface card are referred to or are known as electrical devices. Maybe in some other videos we could do a further narrative or explanation of the differences between electronic and electrical devices, but for the focus of this video in particular, the item to the left of my screen is an electronic device that we all know, which is the computer we're talking about in the concept of this video, while the one to my right are other examples of electrical devices that may not necessarily or compulsorily possess an NIC, which is a network interface card, but these are just gadgets around the home or in some other places that works with just switches, on and off switch, like the fan, like the burner, the refrigerator, the electric blender, the microwave. Although, let me do a disclaimer here, some of the advanced types of these items can now have network interface cards which can communicate to some other parts, because most of them are now becoming digital. So basically, but for the focus of this video, like I said, the one to the left of my screen should be our focus. Just for clarity, I needed to mention that. So going forward, what are the basic parts of this particular computer we're talking about in this video? What are the basic parts of this computer? When we say the word basic, I'd like to say that the basic are the most important part that an item should have in order to be called a computer. So the basic, most important part of this computer is the system unit first, the monitor, the mouse, the keyboard, and then the speaker. Like I would always say to some of my students, the system unit rather is the daddy. The system unit is the daddy. The monitor is the mommy. The mouse is you. The keyboard is your brother, and then the speaker is your sister. So basically, that's how it goes. That's just on a lighter note. But moving forward, this is the basic part of the computer. Before anything will be called a computer, these are the parts that must be present in a computer system. In a computer system. Now let's go further to see what a computer system unit should be. This is a computer system, rather. This here is called a computer system. But when you refer to the computer system unit, you're talking about the CPU itself. Now, the CPU is a computer system unit. The moment the word unit comes into it, it means that it is just one, obviously from the mathematical interpretation of 100, tens, and units. You should understand the unit is just one. So, calling or referring to the computer as a unit is the CPU in this setting, in this group of basic parts. But it becomes a different thing when you're talking about other kinds of computer, like the laptop, like your phone. All of these parts are embedded into one as a unit. But talking about the system unit as this combination, the CPU is the system unit. So moving further, while the system unit is known to be the computer itself, this is the system unit now. This is the unit that's the computer as just one. But don't forget, like I said, it becomes a different ball game in using such words when you're talking about the laptop. Now, but as far as we're talking about this combination, the computer system unit, the unit there is referred to as the system unit, which is the CPU. Other basic and extensive parts are known as input and output. This is a computer unit. What here we have the input devices. The mouse is an input device. The keyboard is an input device. The microphone is an input device. The pen is an input device. The scanner is an input device. Your webcam is an input device. While on the flip side, the output devices are the monitor, the speaker, your headphone, your plotter, your printer, your projector. All of these ones on the right side of my screen are output devices. There are other devices that can be referred to as input and output devices, though, which will be mentioned as the class goes on. Now, the computer as an input, processing, and output device. I'm just going to paint an example here that we all can relate with. Imagine this fruit maker. The computer is an input, processing, and output device can be described as an advanced fruit blender. In this case, you have a portal or an aperture where your input comes in through, and then you have the processing space, and then you have the output somewhere here. Every of these things comes in, like the input point is where the items, which is the data, is being loaded or imputed into the machine, which is the machine here is the computer. So imagine your advanced blender here. You bring in your fruits, different kind of fruits, into this point, and then the processing is done inside the machine where the solid items, which is the raw data, is converted into grains or liquid, which is the information now. So here is where the input is. This is the processing. Here is where the processing happens. Here is where the raw data is being converted into information. Your fruit is being converted into juice, and then the chaff is also being taken out. So the output is the point where the converted item, which is the information here, is being ejected from the machine, which is the computer. Now this here is the output. Here we have the summary. In summary, the computer is anything that takes data as input and gives information as output. So that'll be all for this video. Hope to see you in the next one. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me through the channel and I'll be glad to attend to them. See you in the next video.